My name is Linda, and I used to believe family meant unconditional love. I believed that when life gets hard, blood would stand by you, not walk away. But I learned the hardest way possible, that sometimes the people you die for are the ones who watch you drown. It all started 4 years ago in Cincinnati, Ohio. My son Michael was just 8 years old, bright, funny, and obsessed with astronomy. He wanted to be an astronaut one day, but fate had other plans. Michael was born with a rare heart condition that had worsened over the years. His doctor said an experimental treatment could save his life, but it would cost $80,000. I didn't have that kind of money. I worked as a middle school librarian. His father left us when Michael was 3, saying he couldn't handle watching a sick child. So it was just the two of us, me and my boy, fighting for every heartbeat he had left. I went to my parents for help, praying they'd understand. They lived comfortably. My father retired early. My mother always bragged about their investments. I thought they'd step in without hesitation. But when I asked, my father crossed his arms and said, "We've already done enough for you, Linda. You can't expect us to throw away our savings." My mother added, "You need to be realistic. Maybe focus on making his last months comfortable instead of chasing impossible miracles." Those words shattered me. I begged. I cried. I told them I'd pay them back, even if it took my whole life. But they refused. That night, I sat by Michael's hospital bed, holding his tiny hand, and realized my parents, his grandparents, had just sentenced him to die. 2 weeks later, my younger sister Chloe called me. She was breathless with excitement. "Linda, you won't believe it. Ryan proposed. Mom and Dad are paying for everything. The wedding, the honeymoon, the venue. They said it's going to be magical." Magical. I stood in my tiny apartment surrounded by unpaid medical bills and heard my sister gush about an unlimited budget. Within months, I watched my parents spend over $200,000 on that wedding. Designer dresses, luxury hotels, imported flowers, live musicians. While my son's oxygen machine barely stayed running because I was behind on power bills. I tried to be happy for her. I really did. But every dollar they spent was another reminder of what they refused to give, of the life they chose not to save. As Chloe's wedding drew closer, Michael's health declined. He could barely walk or eat. The doctors said without that treatment, we had months, maybe weeks. One night, after I'd spent hours crying, Michael looked up at me and whispered, "Mommy, don't cry. Maybe heaven needs astronauts too." Those words broke something inside me forever. A week before the wedding, the doctor told me Michael might not make it through the weekend. I called my parents. My father answered casually, saying, "Can this wait, Linda? We're at the cake tasting." "No, Dad," I said through tears. "Michael is dying. The doctor said it's a matter of days." There was a long silence before he said, "Oh, well, we'll try to come by tomorrow morning before the florist meeting." They came the next day, for 20 minutes. My mother cried softly. My father checked his watch. Then they left, saying, "We really can't be late for the venue walkthrough." 3 days later, my son took his last breath in my arms. His little hand went limp against mine. And when I called to tell my parents, my mother's first words were, "Oh no, Linda, what terrible timing. The wedding is this weekend." Terrible timing. That was when something inside me turned to ice. 2 days before Chloe's wedding, I buried my son. My parents arrived late to the funeral, still wearing their wedding rehearsal clothes. They hugged me briefly, said the service was tasteful, and left early. They couldn't miss the rehearsal dinner. That was the moment I decided. I would never shed another tear for people who could attend a wedding, but not their grandson's burial. For years past, I rebuilt my life piece by piece. I moved to another city, finished my master's degree, and became a school counselor. But I never forgot what they did. Then karma started her work. My father invested in a sure-deal business venture that went bankrupt. They lost nearly everything. My mother called me one evening, her voice trembling. "Linda, we're struggling. The house might go. Can you help us out a little until things stabilize?" I thought about all the nights I'd sat by Michael's hospital bed, praying for help that never came. And I said calmly, I wish I could, Mom, but I have to think about my future too. I'm not getting any younger. The same words they once told me. Silence. Then a choked sob. That was the moment I realized I didn't need to destroy them. Life already had. Karma doesn't rush. She takes her time. And when she arrives, she brings a mirror. Moral of the story. If you ever have parents, siblings, or in-laws who test your love, remember this. Family isn't defined by blood. It's defined by compassion. Money can build weddings, houses, and legacies, but it can't rebuild the trust you destroy by choosing wealth over love. In this life, kindness doesn't make you weak, and silence doesn't mean defeat. Justice often walks slowly, but when it arrives, it never misses an address. Always care for those who once cared for you, because someday life will test you with the same measure you used on others. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional stories about family betrayal, justice, and redemption.